Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2022 Acura RDX and its 16-speaker ELS Studio 3D audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments, controls, speaker locations, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay. Then we're going to head out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now, if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning, you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And if you're tired of hearing the same songs week in and week out, we've actually got two different options for you. One, you can sign up to become a Daily Motor member, hear the members only sound test on this car, or you can also check out our immersiveaudioalbum.com sound tests. These are 5.1 surround sound audio tracks that sound really cool in the system because Acura is the only manufacturer that actually has 5.1 capable sound systems right now, at least to the best of my knowledge. So we're going to be doing a separate video on that as well. I'll put all the links to those in the description. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. New a few years ago, heavily updated, the RDX here. Probably the best-selling Acura product, to the best of my knowledge. It really checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people, priced well. Might not be the flashiest in this segment or the fastest or the most efficient, but it's kind of a jack of all trades, and I'm really quite fond of it. So if you do want to see more on the RDX, check the links in the description. We've got a fuel economy test and a little DM test drive. Now, we always do this test with lossless, uncompressed WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults. So let's take a look at those now. Acura's new touchscreen infotainment, new a few years ago I should say, is pretty unique in that it's got a little trackpad here, and this trackpad mimics where you're touching on the screen. So if I want to do something right in the middle, I touch right in the middle, and then it sort of lights up, and I click down for confirmation. So I can go back very easily, but then if I wanted to say go up to navigation, I click on the top left, and it brings up navigation. Let's go back home, swipe over to USB audio. It's kind of a darker screen, but the contrasts are very strong, so that's important. Go up here to sound. A lot of adjustments here. Let's start off with, we got bass, mid-range, and treble. Let's go through all those. As you can see, even though there are only 6 up and 6 down adjustments for those, you get quite a broad range. Then go down, we got roof and center volume, and that's because we actually have 4 speakers in the roof of this car, so you can adjust the levels of those and the center speaker as well. So let's go through and see how that changes things. This trackpad is not always the most accurate. You're not going to notice a huge change in sound quality or differences there when you're just listening to stereo music like this, but you put in one of those surround sound tunes, you're going to notice it a lot more. And then what else do we have? Audio zones and balance and fader, so you can move front, rear, left, right, and you can also do driver only, front only, rear only, kind of broad customizations like that. Speed compensated volume control, so as you get going faster, the music will sort of lift up. DTS neural surround. Turn on to remix and enhance stereo and surround audio profile. DTS surround does not apply to all audio apps. Let's see if that makes a difference for this. Yeah, so it is a little bit more of a surround experience, a little bit artificial sounding there. I'm going to leave that off. And then compressed audio enhancement, turn on to enhance the quality of compressed audio sources. Does not apply to the current audio app. This setting will be remembered for all audio apps. So that's if you're listening to like Sirius satellite radio, it's going to be very compressed, maybe some sort of Bluetooth as well. This is going to try to undo that compression, maybe make it sound a little better. For audio controls in the RDX, you have a nice volume knob up here. It's a little far away, kind of got to reach up. I got to lift my back off the seat back to get up to it, but you've also got volume on the left side of the steering wheel on this rocker. For track selection, you've got back and forth seat buttons up there. You can use the trackpad if you're on the media screen, or you can use the selection right here on the left side of the wheel. For audio inputs in the RDX, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio. There's not exactly a media place to get to it. You kind of have to just sort of go through all your apps over here. There's AM radio, Android Auto, Alexa inputs as well. That's probably not really for music. Apple CarPlay, FM radio, Bluetooth, anything else. Sirius XM, I already said that, and then the USB-A input right here. You do have wireless Apple CarPlay and I believe Android Auto as well. We're going to confirm that here in a second. And that's all. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, there's no USB Type-C data input that I can find, and there's no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack. So just keep in mind, if you want to do high fidelity audio, you pretty much go on CarPlay, Android Auto, or USB-A stick. Would be nice to see maybe some sort of Tidal streaming or something like that at some point, which you can obviously do through your phone, but doesn't look like there's any built-in app for that. Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 6-speaker system. Starting in the bottom left, you've got 1, 2, so that looks like a door woofer down there, and sort of a mid-range 2 here. 3 tweeter, 4 center speaker, 5, 6, 7, 8 up in the roof, 9 up in the roof. Go back here to the second row. See, you got 10, 11, 12, 13 in the roof, and then 14, 15 kind of back there in the C-pillar, CD pillar there. And then for your final 16th speaker, got a big subwoofer right here in the back. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay demonstrations. Now this is a little bit strange. For some reason, even though CarPlay is going wirelessly, you can't do wireless CarPlay at the same time the USB stick is plugged in. I'll demonstrate here. I'm just going to turn on wireless CarPlay. It should connect automatically. My Bluetooth coming on. There we go. You see it shut off my music, and then if I try to go over to USB audio, it says USB unavailable. Use CarPlay to listen to music on the connected iPhone. So that is a bit unfortunate, but either way, let's go up to CarPlay. And the reason it's unfortunate is, say for example, I wanted to listen to high fidelity audio here, but want my navigation going through CarPlay. It looks like I have to make a choice. CarPlay coming up. It is fairly small because that screen is way up there and sitting back here, the 510 driver's position. It's not the largest screen. It doesn't take up the whole screen as well. I don't think I can turn that off, but you can kind of swipe through CarPlay. Let's go to Google Maps. And you can you scroll around the map? Yeah, there we go. You can kind of, it's not the most intuitive CarPlay setup, but once you kind of get used to swiping your finger around, you can get used to it. Let's go over here to YouTube Music. Here's your YouTube Music. Let's click on something to get it playing. There's your now playing screen. And let's go, whoops. Yeah, it definitely takes a little getting used to. It's a swipe factory. Then let's go all the way over to settings. There we are, settings right there. How about Android Auto? There we go. Android Auto's up. You can see no wire connecting my phone in there either. And similar operation, kind of swipe around everything. Let's go over to YouTube Music on this one. Still no Wi-Fi connection, I suppose, so we'd have to play my offline mixtape. Oh, what do you know? It's recommending the same song. You can tell I listen to that a lot. Let's go home. There are your home apps. Android Auto is a little tiny bit more intuitive to swipe through than Apple CarPlay, but it also could be because it's just doing it second. And there are your settings. All right, before we get back on the road, I want to plug in the Immersive Audio album track and play you their 5.1 surround demo. It's pretty neat.
Welcome to the Immersive Audio Album Channel Configuration Test. Left. Center. Right. Left surround. Right surround. LFE. The Immersive Audio Album Channel Configuration Test is now complete. Hej då!
So if you all are listening with headphones, you can definitely hear, you should be able to hear kind of the spatialness that provides. It's really cool. And they've got this whole album that is all 5.1 surround music. So, and tons of other albums as well. So this video isn't even sponsored by them, but I just think it's cool to really flex your system like this with their product. So let's get this stuff put away, get out on the road and listen to the rest of those tracks. system has a really impressive amount of power and spatial awareness, spatial focus, I suppose. The fact that you can do 5.1 surround sound with it, and the placement of the roof speakers, the center speaker, it makes for a very comprehensive sound. What I don't particularly care for is the upper mid-ranges are very strong, and you can hear a lot of sound coming through these upper tweeters and that center. I'm kind of surprised by it. I'd like to have more from this, and even the door woofers, because that subwoofer is so strong that they could make the door woofers do a little bit more of the upper basses and lower mid-ranges and really create a strong driving sound. Instead, you listen to this, and there's a lot of that kind of snare drum, upper guitar sound. It makes it so it's hard on your ears, and it's harsh. The system sounds really, really good when you're listening to quieter music, more complex songs at a lower volume. But when you try to really crank things up, it gets harsh. It gets hard on your ears. So this next one, we'll turn the bass all the way up and see what happens. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty darn rumbly. Oh yeah, very strong. Got mirror shakage. I can feel it in the steering wheel, my seat, the doors. A little bit of distortion, but definitely not bad. Whoops. I put my songs out of order for some reason. Thoughts on the ELS Studio 3D sound system here in the Acura RDX. It's a really impressive sound system, just like the TLX that we tested. When you get 5.1 surround music, like something from immersiveaudioalbum.com, or your own 5.1 tracks, or even just more complex music from something lossless, uncompressed, it really is impressive what this system is able to do in all of its spacing and just overall mixing. Again, I'm not a huge fan of how bright it sounds. When I want to turn up my louder music, my more complex music, I'm getting a lot in that upper mid-ranges that it's keeping it from being an S-tier system for me. It's not the type of system like the S-tier systems we reviewed, like the S-Class, like the Escalade. What are some of the GX460, the LX? You turn them up with flat EQ and it just sounds perfect. It's like you could listen to the music, and as loud as you turn it up, everything's still perfectly balanced and sounds very nice to the ear. Nothing's harsh. So this is an A tier. It's very strong. I enjoy listening to it. I think it's good, but it is not quite up there with the tippy top systems. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the RDX, check the links in the description. We've got all sorts of reviews, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.